Imagine you're lying in bed. It's 2 in the morning and you just heard a weird thump coming from the basement. Or maybe it's not a sound. Maybe it's just a feeling. That cold pit in your stomach because your company just announced restructuring and your boss hasn't looked you in the eye all day. Most people live their lives on a financial tightrope, and they don't even realize the safety net underneath them is made of dental floss. I'm Finn, your finance buddy, and today we're going to talk about the single most important number in your life. It's not your credit score, it's not your salary, it's your I can sleep at night number, your emergency fund. But before we get into the math, I have to tell you about the time I almost lost everything because I thought I was too smart for a savings account. Back when I was 24, I thought I had it all figured out. I was working a decent job, I was investing every extra penny into the stock market, and I had exactly $400 in my actual bank account. I thought, Finn, why let money sit in a boring savings account making 0 interest when you can put it in the market and make 10%? I felt like a total genius until the universe decided to check my ego. In the same week, my car's transmission decided to go on strike, and my landlord informed me that the minor leak in my bathroom was actually a mold explosion that required me to move out immediately while they gutted the place. I needed $5,000. I had $400. I had to sell my investments during a market dip. I locked in losses, I paid taxes on the tiny gains I did have, and I felt like a total failure. I wasn't an investor. I was a gambler who forgot to pay for his seat at the table. That is why we're here today, because an emergency fund isn't just money for a rainy day, it's your armor. It's the difference between a crisis and a mild inconvenience. According to recent data, nearly 37% of adults would struggle to cover an unexpected $400 expense with cash. Think about that. Over a third of the people you see at the grocery store are one flat tire away from financial ruin. Do not be one of them. Now, here is the rule that makes people mad, but I'm your buddy, so I'm going to tell you the truth. Do not invest a single cent in the stock market. Do not buy a single Bitcoin. Do not even look at a Roth IRA until your emergency fund is built. I know, it's boring. It doesn't feel like you're winning, but trying to build wealth without an emergency fund is like trying to build a skyscraper on a foundation of wet sand. The first time the wind blows, the whole thing is coming down. So, how much do you actually need? If you Google this, you'll see the standard 3 to 6 months of expenses. But standard is for robots. You're a human with a specific life. Let's break down the Finn formula for the 3 stages of life. First, stage 1, the starter shield. This is for you if you're young, you're renting, and your only dependent is a succulent that you forget to water. You need 1 month of total expenses. If your rent, food, and gas cost you $2,000, that is your goal. This stops you from reaching for a credit card when your phone screen shatters. Second, stage 2, the stability suit. This is for most people. You have a career, maybe a car payment, and people who count on you. You need 3 to 6 months, but here is the trick. If your job is stable, like a government worker or a teacher, you can lean toward 3 months. If you're in sales or a volatile industry, you better aim for 6. And finally, stage 3, the freedom fortress. This is for my freelancers, my business owners, and my friends with 3 kids and a mortgage. You need 6 to 12 months. Why? Because when you're the boss, you don't just have personal emergencies, you have business emergencies. If your biggest client leaves, you don't want to be choosing between your mortgage and your employee's payroll. Let's look at the actual math for a standard family. Say your monthly must-pay bills, rent, utilities, groceries, and insurance add up to $3,500. A 3-month fund is $10,500. A 6-month fund is $21,000. I know. Looking at a number like $21,000 feels like looking at the top of Mount Everest when you're standing in flip-flops. It's daunting. But remember, we don't climb the mountain in one jump. We do it one step at a time. And please, for the love of all that is holy, do not keep this money in your regular checking account. If it's in your checking account, it's not an emergency fund. It's a new shoes and a fancy dinner fund. It's too easy to spend. You need to put it in a high-yield savings account, or an HYSA. As of right now, in early 2026, you can find accounts paying upwards of 4.5% interest. If you have $10,000 sitting there, that account is paying you roughly $450 a year just to exist. It's not going to make you rich, but it's keeping up with inflation and keeping your money safe. I want you to think about how your life would change if you had that money right now. Imagine your boss walks in tomorrow and says, "Finn, we're letting you go." If you have $0, you're terrified. You're thinking about how to pay for groceries next week. You're desperate. But if you have 6 months of expenses, you take a deep breath. You say, "Okay, thank you for the opportunity." You walk out, you go get a nice coffee, and you realize you have 180 days of pure freedom to find the right next job, not just the first next job. That, my friends, is the real alpha. It's not a stock pick, it's the power to say, "I'm fine." Now, I want to hear from you. I'm being serious. Check your ego at the door and be honest in the comments. If an emergency hit you tomorrow, like a $3,000 hospital bill, how would you pay for it? Would you use savings, a credit card, or would you have to call your parents? No judgment here, I've been in all 3 spots. Let's talk about it down there. And if you're sitting there thinking, "Finn, I can barely save $50 a month, how am I supposed to reach 10,000?" Don't worry, my next video is going to be a step-by-step guide on how to find that extra cash in your budget without living like a monk. So, if you want to build that fortress, you know what to do. The road to wealth is long, but it starts with a single brick. Go buy your first brick today. Be your own finance buddy. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.